America, the land where eagles soar, and the mountains cascade to the seas. From the rocky coast to the great Northwest, to the dark blue waters of the Atlantic Ocean, and all the states in between. Welcome, as American Builder Productions presents the American Builder television program.
Welcome to Indianapolis, the capital of Indiana. Being the 12th largest city in the United States, Indianapolis has options to suit the needs and wants of any individual or family. It's home to the Indianapolis 500, the Indianapolis Colts, Angie's List, and much more. With so much to experience and being ranked as the most affordable major housing market in the U.S. by the National Association of Home Builders, it's no surprise that it has a population of nearly 1 million. Today, we're going to introduce you to a special builder here in Indianapolis. Their name is Fentress Builders, and they specialize in reconstruction and restoration.
My father actually started this company back in 1967, so we've been in business for 47 years. And I came in about 14 years ago and kind of took over. He was getting older and he wanted to travel and do his own thing, and so that's what he did, and I kind of stepped in and took on that role, and he was there always helping me from the sidelines. He actually passed 5 months ago, so he's no longer around for me to ask the questions and what's the right thing to do. So I've kind of got a lot of pressure to do the right thing and what he would have done if he were still here. 14 years ago, I didn't know anything about construction. I've learned from hands-on, just going out to different job sites, and there I've just learned from just being around. And you don't see too many females in this position with the construction company, but you do on the insurance side. We do a lot of insurance work, so a lot of insurance, you see a lot of agents or adjusters that are women, but as far as a president of a construction company being a woman, you don't see that very often. So, I take pride in that. I've learned a lot from my father and from just being in this business for the last 14 years. It's a family-owned business. We've been a lot of family members here, so we all get along well, and we can, the line of family and business doesn't get in the way, so we work well together.
Fentress Builders, this is Tracy. Can I help you?
We've got about 45 employees. I've got about 7 sales guys, 6 project managers, and the office personnel, and about 18 field guys. So we all work well together. The salesmen sell, project managers, it gets turned over to them, they run the job, and we close it out. So it's a process that just continues on, and it's been working well. Some key players that I would like to introduce you guys to is Mike Carter. He is the general manager here. He handles all of the sales numbers, the marketing aspect of what we do. Angie's List is what he does. We're preferred in 54 different categories with Angie's List.
My job duties and job description consist of basically just overseeing everybody, making sure that everybody's working. Like at any given time, we'll have 250 to 350 jobs running. So I'll sit down with each of the estimators and each of the project managers and make sure that the job is continuing to flow. Like sit down with them and make sure that everything is scheduled out, that the jobs are being done in a timely manner. When I started 8 years ago, I was out at a homeowner's house and they were kind of explaining what Angie's List was and all that. So I came back to the office, I logged into Angie's List, and I noticed we had 1 report on there and we were a C-. Well, obviously nobody would be happy with a C- grade. So I kind of just took it personal, and every homeowner had a meeting with the guys and explained, that Angie's List could be a huge lead source for us, but at that time I wasn't really sure. So I kind of just went through bought in as a customer, so I could see everything that they see, and then basically started running my entire business just focusing around customer service, Angie's List, and everything. So basically for Fentress Builders, there's 54 different trade categories that they have, from roofing, drywall, everything you can imagine in construction. My goal was to be an A in all 54 categories, and that's where we're at now. And as you can tell by all the awards that are on all the walls around us, we have 43 Super Service Awards.
Another key player is Mike Strong. He is my senior project manager. He has been here for 5 years, and he handles all of our large projects. He's very knowledgeable in the field and brings a lot to the table.
Hey Amber, you got a second?
Sure.
I'd like you to take a look.
I run all of our large projects, so any of the major losses come straight to me. The day-to-day for me is open communication with everybody that I work with, and you know, that's from the homeowner to my guys in the field to our subcontractors. I think one thing that's really helped me out tremendously is that to get the most out of people, you treat them with respect and you let them know what a great job they do for you. And when you have that kind of an attitude, it's a win-win all the way across the board. The guys in the field are stepping up, the homeowners see it, and I see it, you know, and it makes the job rewarding. You know, when I was building, you know, $1 million homes, I was being paid to furnish a product, so there wasn't much gratitude there. With the insurance business, and you're dealing with people who've been through a traumatic experience, whether they've lost everything that they own in their house, you know, you get to make a difference in their lives.
We strive to make the homeowners happy and, you know, make them aware of Angie's List, and hopefully, you know, by the end of it, they give us a good report. So it's just a key sales aspect of what we do.
Don't go anywhere, because we're talking to past clients about the restoration process and their experience with Fentress Builders when American Builder returns. Welcome back to Indianapolis, Indiana. Before the break, we met some of the team behind Fentress Builders. Now, we want to know what the restoration process is like from the time you choose Fentress until the work is complete. To find out, we're going straight to the source, past Fentress clients, so they can tell us about their experience.
I researched 3 others before choosing Fentress. I looked at websites and found a lot of information on Angie's List about Fentress, and so when I needed someone, I made the call.
I went on to Angie's List and perused their selection of builders and interviewed 3, had them come out to the property, had them walk around, asked them questions, and Fentress was one of the 3.
So why did I need to call Fentress? I can tell you, on 20th of December, I closed on this house. I took possession at noon on the 21st, and my friend and I, after a hectic day of cleaning house, were enjoying a celebration in front of the fireplace when she said, "What's that smell? Something smells like it's burning." And sure enough, it was my home. The firemen got here in 6 minutes, but not in time to prevent some significant damage to the house. And then several weeks later, we learned that the house hadn't been properly winterized, because I got a call saying, "I just turned off your water main. Your home is now a skating rink." And so I made it over here and took a look, and sure enough, all the cabinets were warped. The kitchen floor was truly a skating rink, and all of the drywall had fallen from the ceiling to the ground. So the problem had just compounded itself. So the next morning, I think I was frantic and in a panic when I called Fentress.
Our secretary, Dusty, says, "Hey, I got a lady who's on the phone. She needs to talk to somebody. She's had a fire and a flood. Can you take the call? And I was getting ready to head out the door, and I said, yeah, let me talk to her. And talking to Jennifer, she goes, oh my God, she goes, I go over to my house, I close on my house. The day I close on it, I go over and turn on my fireplace. My house caught on fire. And then she goes, and I also had a flood. And she goes, when can you meet with me? And I'm going, gee, I'm kind of booked up, but maybe I can meet you in the next day or so. And she goes, really? I could tell she was pretty anxious. And I just immediately said, you know what? I really can't believe what you're just telling me. I said, I'm dropping what I'm doing. I'm going to come see you.
I think he might have beaten me here.
Hello, stranger.
Hi, Mike. Come on in.
And immediately I felt like I had simpatico with Mike. He understood this was an emotional situation, and he assured me, don't worry. I know it doesn't feel like it now, but we got you. It's gonna be fine. And yeah, so I had a lot of faith in him from the go.
We had a lightning strike, and we were both, thankfully, we were out of the house. We both had already left for work that day. Our neighbor had been looking out her back window for flooding. We were one of 5 home fires in Hamilton County that day. So she saw the strike. Her power went out. She thought her home had been hit by lightning, so she called 911, and she stayed on the phone with them, walked around her home, and she saw something didn't look right. There was smoke in the street. Still thought her home was on fire. She looked out her front door, and she saw her garage was halfway up and smoke was pouring out of the garage. But the lightning hit the chimney and then arced to our gas line and didn't quite make it out of the home, so it punched a hole in the gas line right under there, right under the floor, and started a little gas-fed fire right on our basement ceiling. So it spread pretty quickly across the basement ceiling at that point.
Robin Kelly and Tom Barbera, they actually had gotten on Angie's List and had read quite a few reviews on different restoration companies in the Indianapolis market, and they had requested that we come out and meet with them. And actually Robin had called in and requested and had read reviews about Mike Strong and requested me to come out and meet with them. We got out on site, and this was a lightning strike that hit their chimney cap, ran down the metal flue, and then arced across and hit the yellow flex gas line down in the basement and immediately caught the house on fire. Total loss for all their belongings. They'd actually lost their dog too. So meeting with the 2 of them and immediately seeing the scope of loss, it was like, wow, this is, nobody should have to, go through this. And at the time, I believe they were children. They had a son and a daughter. I think they were, probably 4 and 5 at the time. And I looked her in the eye and I said, I promise you, I said, I'll make this better for you. I mean, I said, I know you can't see it right now, but I said, when we're all said and done, I promise you, you're going to be smiling from ear to ear. And she looked at me straight in the face. She says, Mike, are you as good as your reviews? I said, ma'am, yes I am. And I said, she goes, well, we'll see about that.
I think we also selected Fentress because in addition to what we saw on Angie's List, just observing how they communicated, how they interacted with us.
And with each other.
And with each other, just appreciated that and thought these would be really good people to work with. And we knew that there was going to be a whole lot of communicating needed to be done on rebuilding a house that was stripped down to the studs, on the interior.
And Mike also was familiar with USAA and had had good experiences with USAA, which was our insurance company. So all that just pointed to Fentress.
When you initially meet a client, and each project has its own set of circumstances, you immediately have to look at it in a 360 and see everything that's happened around them, and you immediately realize that they're going through a very traumatic experience, and the key to success is feeling what they're going through and being extremely sensitive to it and catering to their needs, letting them know that it's really all about them. I mean, you're here to make their life better, and that's number one goal from day one when I meet somebody, no matter what the loss is, that you got to take care of them.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more American Builder. Welcome back. We're here in Indianapolis, Indiana, speaking with the clients and crew of Fentress Builders. Before the break, we heard from two past clients about the tragic loss of their homes and how they reached out to Fentress Builders for help. Now, we're going to pick back up right where we left off to better understand how Fentress Builders turns a disaster into a blessing in disguise.
So Fentress was on a list of companies that my insurance company had recommended. And I wasn't having a lot of luck on my own communicating and getting a response from my insurance company. And it was putting me in a bit of a panic because this is my home and I was staying in a hotel with my two young sons. So Mike sort of took over the communication with the insurance company. And he worked on a revised estimate after the flood claim and submitted that to the insurance company and sort of expedited things from there. So I was amazed. Shortly after I spoke with Mike the first time, things started happening at the house. They were drying out the flood, they were removing the wet materials, and I'm sort of a control freak. The past two homes that I've owned have been builds, and I was very actively involved in that process. So I have to tell you, with the stress of living in a hotel and working with the insurance company, I was very happy to give up that control and let that be Mike Strong's job. And I never had a doubt that resources were showing up and that activities were taking place at the house, and every time I visited, progress was being made. I was meeting all the friendly folks, Josh and Curtis, I know by name, and Mike Strong was ever present and always a phone call away. I think I got him texting heavily for the first time. But yeah, from the process, beginning to end, he was my contact. And any problem that I came up with, any requests that I had, for example, he gave me a lot of additional space in the cabinets, in the new configuration of the kitchen. He built out a pantry for me that didn't exist before. So it wasn't just a restoration. He really handled a restoration and a remodel for me and gave me things that were on my wish list for the house years down the road.
I would say the number one thing that makes Fentress stand out is that they put their customers first. It's all about the customer, it's about communication, it's about giving the best quality that is out there. I'm a perfectionist myself, and I don't tolerate anything less than perfection.
If Mike, he called up one day and he said, and we'd lived in his house for 10 years, we'd had 2 children in his house, up and down these stairs a million times. He goes, yeah, my master carpenter just took one trip up your stairs. They're not even, they're not to code. So I guess what that means is one step would be this big, one step would be, I was like, really? He said, yeah, I'm gonna have to rip out all the stairs and rebuild them. Now, of course, that's not something that USA is going to pay for because it wasn't part of the fire, it was just part of the, the change in, I guess, building code since the time the house was built, and they just did it. They just did it.
The most rewarding part of doing a project is, with my 41 years of experience behind me, I've done a lot of design work and stuff like that. I had a cabinet shop down in Austin, Texas for a number of years. But walking in and seeing that there was potential to, do remodelings, even though Jennifer had not moved in the house, things like her kitchen had an island that she hated, didn't really like the layout of it. And with my kitchen design experience, I immediately said, let's do it, let's see what we can come up with. And things like her pantry it had a clip corner, wasn't functional at all. We immediately redid that for us. Now she's got buku space for plenty of storage. So just being able to work with the insurance company's money but more importantly, working with the homeowner and to turn a negative situation into a positive is just an amazing feeling, not only for me, but for the clientele. I mean, you get a chance to make a difference and hit a home run.
I would say that a lot of our clients would say that, especially Mike Strong, goes above and beyond for what is needed for an estimate, because we follow an estimate for insurance, so you have to make sure that you have your numbers right. And I would say that he goes above and beyond to make a client happy. A lot of times when we leave a house, it's nicer than what it is before we came in. So I think that we pride ourselves in that. Would I use Fentress again if I had additional work to do in the house? I think I mentioned that all of my wish list items for the house were really addressed, all the things that I had put on the down the road list, with one exception. The fire and flood did not damage the master bathroom. That's something yet to be done. So yeah, when I get the money together, would I call Fentress to have that done? Absolutely. I already know them, and I already know that they do great work. I'm probably gonna get someone to go shopping with me, pick out tile and things like that. And I know that they won't let me do anything that's not smart. I know that they will always protect, what needs to happen to make the house have integrity and, not do anything stupid. And I think, would I recommend them to a friend? Absolutely. I think that if any of my friends ever had to go through something like what I did, it would break my heart, but I would know, hey, you'll be fine. Call Fentress.
And there you have it. Fentress Builders go above and beyond, offering remodels along with restoration to ensure total satisfaction. That makes them the premier builder of Indianapolis.